Well, hello everybody and welcome back to Empower for You. On the last video I made, I spoke about perspective and putting things in perspective. A lot of times we're out of focus. We do things out of obligation. We do things out of friendship. We do things because we actually believe that it's the right thing to do. However, many times when we do those things, it's us who ends up losing. Today, I want to tell you something. I want to tell you to choose you. Choose yourself. Choose yourself for a change. Remember I made a video about get selfish? Maybe this is a continuation of get selfish. And a lot of us need to learn to choose ourselves. Everybody else does. So why not you? Everybody is not your problem. Everybody's battles are not your battles to fight. But being who we are, being that person who wants to see everybody happy, wants to see everybody succeed, wants to see everybody's dreams come true. What happens when it's you? What happens, my darling, when it is you? When you are left out in the cold? When you are left just holding your dream in your hands? You've helped other people, you've helped them on their way, and they've gone on and they left you behind. Now, who's there to nurture you? Who's there to nurture your dream? Yeah, I know that when we plant seeds, they don't come back the same way we put them out. I know all of that. But it still does not hurt any less. It is still no less disappointing to know that you have given your all to someone, to something, to a cause, or whatever, and got nothing in return. But we've always been taught that, right? Isn't that what we've always been taught? It's to give and it shall be given unto you. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And we've learned over the years, guess what? That don't work. It may. But who's not to say that was already in your life plan? Who's not to say that was already a part of your journey? Who's not to say that? However, in this situation, for a change, instead of being there for everyone, be there for yourself. Do the same things, that same energy, that same passion that you were putting out for other people. Do that for yourself. I had to learn it. That's why I'm here talking to you. Over the last few weeks, I've been dealing with a lot of things about me. I've had to deal with myself and ended up had to make some readjustments. Had to get rid of some things. Get rid of some people. Was it easy? No. Did it feel good? No. Was it for my good? Yes. And one thing we have a problem realizing, and understanding that some people come into our lives for a reason. Some come in for a season. Now, how long that season is going to be, we never know. That season may be a day, week, month, year, years. We don't know. But one thing we need to know and one thing we need to realize is when that season is over. We need to realize when that season is over. And Tyler Perry tells this story about, being like a tree, you know, that the tree itself is strong and sturdy, and it has its roots that go deep into the ground. And the roots are what steady the tree and nourish the tree. Okay? Those are your real people, the real people in your life, your trunk and your roots. Those are the people that are going to stand strong with you when the storms come, when those valley experiences appear. Those are the ones who are not going to, when you get it back together, you give me a call. Those are the ones that are going to stay by you. They're going to stand by you. They're not going to be the ones who are going to just, like the leaves, leaves are very seasonal. They're only here when it's hot, when it's pleasant, when the sun is out, the weather is good. But what happens in the wintertime? In the fall, what happens? They start turning brown. Days are getting short, and they start to turn brown. They start to wither. And after a while, they fall too. What was once a beautiful tree that provided shade, that helped with our oxygen, because that's what trees do. Now, all of that beauty is now brown and on the ground. You know those people. You know them. They're there when everything is good, when the sun is out. We call them sunshine friends. You remember that? They're there when everything is good, when everything is positive. They're good. But when the fall comes, when that season begins to change, when your life situations, when your life begins to change, what do? They change too. And now you find them what? You find them gone. You find them withered on the ground and gone. They've been blown away. A strong wind came and blew them away. So they weren't for you. And we have to know who those people are. We have to know who our leaves are in our lives. And we have to treat them as such. They come, they go. And we can't be all toe up about the come and the go. We can't be all willy-nilly toe up about people who come and go, because we need to know these things. And when you know that you're dealing with a person who comes and goes, you need to act accordingly. You can't treat them like your tree, your trunk, and your roots, because you already know they're not going to stick around. And then when one set leaves, another one appears. These people aren't even associates in your life. Friends, friends, associates. Leaves are not even associates. They're just people that you have come across on your journey. They're there for a reason, and then they're gone. And guess what? Another set is going to appear. Learn, move on. That's what leaves are for. They're to teach those brief lessons, and we're to move on. Then there are the branches. Branches can be iffy too now. They'll look strong. They'll look like they're with you, but have you ever heard the term out on a limb? We've all heard that term. What was it like for you when you were out on a limb? Did somebody come out to help you? Or were they like the leaves blowing in the breeze, falling to the ground, withering, leaving? Were they like that? Or were they strong? Was that branch strong? Was it strong enough to support you? Was it strong enough to support your weight? Was it strong enough to support you in what you were going through? Sometimes we trust the wrong thing. We trust the wrong people. It'll look strong. And we stretch forth our faith. And guess what? That very leaf, that very branch, it breaks, it cracks, and it falls to the ground. And sometimes we don't make it back to the tree. And we end up what? We end up on the ground. And depending on how high up the branch is, we can get hurt in the process. Now, if it's a low-hanging branch, we might, get scuffed up. We might sprain an ankle or, sprain a finger, break a nail. But what happens if that branch is high up and we trusted that branch to sustain us on our way up to higher levels in our life, to higher levels in our journey, and we trusted it, and that branch let us down and we fail? We have those people too. Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I'm here. But then when things get too heavy, they break and leave. And guess what happens when that happens? That branch wasn't alive at all. It was barely clinging on to life. It was dead wood. It needed pruning. And a lot of us, we have a lot of dead wood around. We need to prune our tree. I've had to do it more times than I have wanted to. I found myself having to cut some things off, cut some people off. I had to make some hard decisions as to what needed to be done in order for my tree to survive. Because too much dead wood can kill the whole tree. And too much dead wood, you can't form new ones. You can't branch out. It stagnates growth. The tree doesn't grow up. It's sort of like just stagnant. But once you decide to take care of that dead wood, all those branches that are dead, that serve no purpose, they don't even have any leaves on them. Leaves won't even grow on them. And then they have all these little scraggly, ugly branches sticking up off of them, ruining the beauty of your tree. So what do you do with that? Cut it off. Is it easy? No. Is it going to hurt? Hell yeah, it's going to hurt. Because the lower down the branches are, the longer they have been with the tree. And a lot of times, Those are the ones that can disappoint us the most. Those are the ones who disappoint us the greatest, the ones that we have had in our lives for years, years and years and years. We've cried together, gone through some things together, laughed together, celebrated together. But does that mean that these are the people who can go on to your next level? Are they worthy? Or do you need to be in a place to know that they're not worthy to go to your next level? You need to learn to choose you. Because I promise you, when it comes down to it, they're going to choose themselves over you. You've seen it. All of us have seen the red flags of people choosing themselves over us. And then we sit back and we're disappointed, mad as hell, wondering what in the hell happened when we know all the time. The scripture has always told us to know those who labor among us. That means know your folk. Know your folk, know your people. And if you know that these people are not strong, you know who's with you, you know who's not necessarily with you, you know who's giving you lip service, and you know who's full of shit. And if you don't, you need to figure it out, and you need to figure it out quick. Are you wondering why you still in the situation you in? A lot of us are in the same situation we're in because we refuse to let go of the dead wood. We refuse to see things for the way they actually are. We refuse to see people for who they actually are, for situations for where they actually are, things that no longer serve you. You're still holding on to that stuff, when you need to really and truly just trash it and move on. Choose you. What are you going to do? You have been given a life. You have been given a gift. Sometimes we know what our gift is. Sometimes we don't. But you have been given a life. You have been given a gift. Come on, people. Stop casting your pearls before swine. Stop putting your good out there for people who don't give a damn about you. Choose you. Because they're going to choose themselves. Every single time. And you're not in the equation at all. You're there to facilitate a need. And once you have facilitated the need, your usefulness is now done. And they'll call you again when they need you. People make choices all the time, whether they want to be bothered with you. We do. I do. But what's behind them wanting to be bothered with you? Is it because, they don't want to go certain places alone, or their main people in their lives, the things that they do with you, seem to be beneath their other crew? But you that ride or die. You're gonna go. You're a friend. You're gonna go, whether you want to or not. Choose you. Choose yourself. Stop being a garbage can, a doormat, a facilitator for everybody else. You have needs too. Who's helping you? I'm waiting. Who's helping you? Genuinely, who is helping you? Who is your friend for real? And that's something we need to be looking at right about now. Who are our friends for real? Who's choosing us? Because if somebody's not choosing you, you don't need to choose them. And you know how you find out who's for you, right? Get down, not have something. Oh, you're going to find out who everybody is in your life. Choose you. I'm not saying be selfish. I'm not saying be ugly. I'm not telling you to be a bitch either. I'm just telling you to think wisely, to be mindful. The next time somebody comes to you with something, before you just arbitrarily out your mouth, just yes, yeah, yeah, give a little thought. Just let me think about it. I'll get back with you. And then you roll that thing over in your mind. Like, well, let's see, the last time this happened, I got screwed. Let's see, the last time this happened, I ended up doing all the work. The last time this happened, I was out of thus and so amount of money. Yeah. I ended up driving and what just happened? What just happened? You just took into inventory your no. We do things because we do them out of the goodness of our heart. We don't have an agenda. We do them because that's who we are. And people know that. Don't think that they don't. Don't think that people do not know that you're the one to do things out of the goodness of your heart and not expect anything in return. They know that. And every single time, they're going to play on that. Is that being predictable? It sure is. You're predictable. They're not ever expecting you to wake up and choose yourself. They're not ever expecting that. Ever. They're not ever expecting you to wake up one day and say, I choose me. That I'm tired of the crap. I'm tired of getting the short end of the stick. I'm tired of always being the one to clean up everybody else's mess. But then when it turns around on me, everybody's gone. Except those people who are what? The trunk and the roots. That's when you find out who your friends are. When people turn their back on you at your lowest point in your life, those people are not your friends, darling. And I've just seen that. I've just witnessed that. I had to do some careful inventory as to who and what I want in my life at this present time. Some choices was not easy, but they were the best for me. And a lot of times medicine is bitter, but it's going to make you better. And many of us, we need to take our medicine. How many times is it going to take for you to see someone for who they really and truly are? How much hurt are you going to have to endure before you see someone for who they really and truly are? How much? How much are you going to endure? How much loss are you willing to endure before you see someone for who they really and truly are? How many times are they going to have to choose themselves and somebody else over you before you realize your own value, your own worth? How many times? When are you ever going to wake up and say, no, it's about me now. It's my turn now. That's where I am. Are you going to join me? Or are you going to stay in that place to be used and abused, hurt, stepped on, stepped over, looked over? When are you going to choose yourself? When are you going to choose yourself? Again, that same energy that you put out on everybody else's thing to help make them great and to help support them. What happened? What happened? They didn't choose you. You chose you, but they didn't choose you. So when are you going to choose you? When are you going to see yourself just as important as everybody else? When are you going to come out of that craziness of denying yourself is showing humility? That is some foolishness. That's some foolishness. And you know it. When you're in need, you don't need nobody giving you no false platitudes. Well, God's going to provide. Well, if you just, you've already given and you're a good person and God's going to come through and this and that and the other, and the universe is going to do this and that and the other, blah, 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 blah. How many times have you heard that, darling? How many times? How many times have you heard that? When you were in need right now. And they knew it. And again, they didn't choose you. So what are you going to do? I challenge you today to choose yourself. I challenge you. And see what happens when you choose yourself. See what happens. I challenge you today. Prune your tree. Not just take the shears out, not just take the saw out, not just take the pruning shears and everything else and every other cutting device that you have, not just take them out. I need you to use it. It's your time. It's your time, and everybody can't go where you're going. It's your time. And everybody in your life, they're not worthy of going where you're going. And why put yourself in a place where, dead weight only drags things down. It impedes growth. It doesn't promote growth. It impedes growth. It drags you down. It weighs you down. It serves no purpose. It makes you sick. It dulls your vision so you can't see your dream clearly. You can't see your path clearly because you're so worried about all this dead wood that's around. Choose yourself. I challenge you. Choose yourself. It's all about you now. Choose you. All these years you've chosen everybody else. You've helped everybody else. Now it's time for everybody to be grown. Or as my mom used to say, it's time for every tub to sit on its bottom. It's time for everybody to be grown. It's time for everybody to know their worth. And it's time for everybody to dream their dream and live it. What you think? Are you up to the challenge? Are you up to the challenge of choosing yourself? Are you up to that challenge? How much are you worth? Do you know? What is your value? Do you know? All these other people that have used you all these years, they know your value. They know your worth. Why you think they've been using you? Why you think when they get in need, they running up in your face? Because they know you got all the answers. You have all the answers. You have all the resources. You have all the connections. And you have a God-given gift to bring all of those things together to solve problems. So why your life tore up? She didn't say that to me. I know she didn't. I know that lady didn't just say that to me. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I said that to you. Your life tore up from the floor, but you reaching out to help somebody else. Are you crazy? It's something wrong with you. Yeah, I said it. It's something wrong with you. You're out of focus. You're out of perspective. And you need to get it together. Because if you don't, this door that is open and or opening for you, that threshold that you're standing in, going to your next level, it is going to slam in your face, knock your ass out, and it may never open again. So what are you going to do? Are you going to choose you? Are you going to learn to choose yourself? Ever? Aren't you tired? Aren't you tired? Aren't you tired of being used? Aren't you tired? Don't you want someone in your life, some people in your life that are on your team for a change? That undergird you and support you for a change instead of you always being the team? Don't you think you need a team too? Some things need to be cut off. Some things need to be fired. And you need to hire a new team. A lot of times, your new team has been in your face the whole time. But we were always loyal to those leaves, those branches. That what they did, they let us down. They let us fall. And what did they do? They withered away. They died off. Lost touch. You know how it goes. But the tree still remained. And the branches dug a little deeper to keep us from or just falling over. Poof. They stayed strong. They stood strong with you in your time of need. So I'm just challenging you today to choose yourself. All those talents and stuff that you have, use some of that stuff for yourself. Use all of it for yourself right now. You'd be surprised as to what you can come up with for yourself when you put your mind to it. Aren't you worthy? I think you're worthy. I think you're valuable. I think you're downright brilliant. And that you can do anything you put your mind to do. Let's try that today. It's going to be hard. I'm not saying that it's going to be easy. It is going to be hard. And for some of you, it is going to be the challenge of your life. But one thing I can say is that when it's over, you'll be able to see your way clear. You'll feel lighter. You'll feel better about yourself. You won't be under any type of scrutiny. You won't be under any type of judgment. You won't feel that you know that spirit of obligation. You won't have that because you're only obligated to one person, and that's yourself. And it feels good to be obligated to just yourself. So that's my challenge to you today. Get selfish. Look after yourself. Do some self-care. Do some self-care today. Take a week. Take a day. Take a week to do some self-care. To do some introspection, to go into yourself and see what needs to be done within yourself, within your own life. You looked after everybody else. Now why not do the same thing for yourself? I challenge you. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. It's going to be good. And it's going to be for your own benefit for a change. Okay? I'm rooting for you. You can do this. I promise you can do this. It's for your own good. Okay? And I'll see you next time. You hang in there because you're worthy and you're worth it. Okay?